Hey everyone, I'm Ultima456, you're the Ultimates, and welcome to a brand new type of content for my channel, which I'm dubbing Long May We Plat. So today, we're going to be playing the puzzle game from Jonathan Blow, known as The Witness. And this is probably my favorite puzzle game of all time, and I really just wanted to share it with you guys. I'm just going to pause here real quick. What is Long May We Plat? Yeah, okay, cool. What is Long May We Plat? Well, I wanted to create a different type of content, a long form type of content for my channel that differentiates itself from the sort of 20-minute episodes that I've been doing. So if everything's gone according to plan, at the bottom of the screen you should see that this episode is an hour in length, and that's obviously by design. Obviously, I can't release this as frequently as I release 20-minute episodes, but I'm hoping to get an hour a week, which gives me 52 weeks to play a game, which is pretty good. And that might enable me to complete maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 more games in a year. And also it's long form content, so it's different to what you guys are used to, and maybe it's something else that you guys can watch alongside my regular content. So yeah, I've chosen The Witness because I think it suits this type of long form style, and it's just such a great game. And I've played it before, I've platinumed it before. It's been over a year since I did. I was practicing a little bit earlier, just to kind of get a feel for the game again. And I thought I would share it with you guys and show you, try and reveal as much about this game as possible to you, and just how incredibly deep and well constructed it is, and how thoughtful it is. So before we start, let's just go. I'm going to put the brightness all the way up. Field of view, was that always on 84? Subtitles, yes. Reticle, yes. Vignetting, yeah, or however you pronounce that. Aim sensitivity a little higher, and invert y-axis. Okay, that brightness is quite bright. Not for my eyes, but I think that's that's a bit better. All right, so you start in this hallway. It's a very long hallway. You actually can't turn around. You can only look left and right. Oh, now you can turn around. I couldn't earlier. You can go all the way down here, and you'll see that there's like absolutely nothing. So the only way is forward. If you hold L2, you can run. Okay, there's our reticle, yeah. So it's a little square. Okay, so you're presented with this puzzle, right? The first puzzle, and the game tells you to press X. So you press X, and then you're given free reign. And essentially what you're doing, you're looking for patterns, right? So a human, like, your first instinct is to go, okay, you got a line here, and you got this dot. So let's put the dot on the dot and press X. And then you draw the line, you press X, and lo and behold, a door opens. So that's fantastic. Now you go in here, you can't really see what's in this corner. This actually here, I don't know what this is here for. It kind of almost looks like a wine rack, from what I understand, of what wine racks look like. But then you've got this here as well, and this is your second puzzle. So you're like, okay, so it makes sense. So you just do the same thing, and then you turn a corner, and boom, you open another door. As soon as you open that second door, you're automatically greeted. That's actually, I didn't even notice that. See, another thing that I didn't notice, that tower looking thing that you can barely see on the screen, that is our kind of final destination, as it were. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but yeah, we're going to be heading to that tower. It looks really far away, but to be honest, it's a lot close. I could probably get there in like 3 minutes if I wanted to. Could I do anything? Probably not. Anyway, you start in this nice little area. It's like a little garden area. You can see a lot of flowers around here, foliage and just flora all over the place. Very, very beautiful looking game. Here's a puzzle. This one is obviously, it's a little bit more complicated, but it's basically just a maze. We could complete it now, but you'll notice that we don't have any, well, actually, yeah, we could complete it now. Yeah, let's go ahead. So you see this like little cable, right? So if you complete the puzzle, you'll actually activate the cable, or the power to the cable. So the best way with mazes is just work your way backwards. So there, and you can actually start in 2 different areas. Can I actually achieve this both ways? So hang on, if you hold R2 when you're doing the puzzle, you can make it go a little bit faster. So that works, that's an acceptable response. And then this way. Okay, so yeah, this one you're trapped. Like if you use the thing on the left, you're actually trapped. You can't. There's no way to get there. So let's just do this. A little bit complicated, but there you go. And now all of a sudden we've generated power, and we go over here. You can see this big gate, and you've got like a panel here, but you can actually like access this top part here, you realize, but then it's blocked off by these two and you can't do anything. So you need to, you know, open up these other panels. So you're like, okay, let's have a look. So let's go to this top one first. So you follow the cable. Oh, it actually leads over there. That's annoying. Wait, no, you know what? Let's just do it. Okay, so you see now this TV or little puzzle is actually not powered either. So let's follow that cable. Goes down here. That one's not powered either. Over the wall. And bada bing, you're at this one. All right, so let's do this one, much simpler. So you just go through there. Boom. Now all of a sudden you've powered this puzzle. Okay, let's do this. Pretty simple, no need to spend too much time on it. You'll notice that the game is like, actually, you know what? I will spend a little bit more time explaining this because, for example, okay, so what I've done is a valid response, right? It's a valid answer to the puzzle, but you could also do this, like that. Very, very slightly different, but still an acceptable response. And that's very important to know, that most puzzles only have one answer. Well, that's kind of hard to say specifically, but yeah, a lot of puzzles will have one very specific answer, especially if they're extremely challenging puzzles, which later on in the game we'll get to some more really, really hard puzzles. But yeah, like some puzzles will have multiple answers, but there will only be slight variations on what is kind of the intended response. Okay, so now we opened up that top one. Now we just got to open up this bottom one. So let's have a look. Follow this cable. Go, 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 go. Over the wall. I love like this idea of just like, you know, trying to find how we go. Okay, you'll notice that we actually have two different cables here. And you'll notice that these ending points, so that's an ending point there and an ending point there. So if you end here, you will power the puzzle that we need to power. If you end there, you'll power something else. Now, I'm not going to bother showing what that is just yet, because we'll come back and do it in a moment. We can do it now. I think, well, let me think. Yeah, you can pretty much do everything at the beginning of the game. Like you can go straight to the end if you want. But I'm going to skip that there and go all the way down here and activate that instead. All right, so let's try that. Let's go here. All right, so now we have a similar puzzle, but slightly different. So it looks like pretty much our only thing is just to get to the bottom. So let's just do that. Okay, well that worked. It turned off the laser fence thing and now we can escape. That's good. Before we do, let's have a quick look around, see if there's anything else that we can get. There was nothing in there. There was nothing in there. And we can't get there. Yeah, we have to go outside. Okay, so let's go outside. So you can see here, I'm just going to kind of like run and walk at the same time just to show you. Nice little, no, what's, grotto is a tiny cave. This is something else, I can't think of it. Not an alcove, because I think an alcove is more like man-made. Can't think of the word. I'm sure I'll put a little note on the thing, on the screen for what word I was looking for. So yeah, you can see now we're like above where we were. And if you go over here, you can actually get one of the very first, you can see over there there's something. If you press X and you get that little purple thing, this will play a rather long, like maybe a minute and a half to 2 minute little, it's like a voice recording. Now, I've heard this recently because I was like having a practice. This is a very complicated thing, but I will play it because for, I guess, the super intellectual people in the audience, they might be able to discern exactly what this person is trying to say. It's very philosophical. It's very like high-end thought processes, but still very interesting nonetheless. So let's listen to it.
I am standing on the threshold about to enter a room. It is a complicated business. In the first place, I must shove against an atmosphere pressing with a force of 14 pounds on every square inch of my body. I must make sure of landing on a plank, traveling at 20 miles a second around the sun. A fraction of a second too early or too late, the plank would be miles away. I must do this whilst hanging from a round planet head outward into space and with a wind of ether blowing at no one knows how many miles a second through every interstice of my body. The plank has no solidity of substance. To step on it is like stepping on a swarm of flies. Shall I not slip through? No. If I make the venture, one of the flies hits me and gives me a boost up again. I fall again and am knocked upwards by another fly, and so on. I may hope that the net result will be that I remain about steady, but if, unfortunately, I should slip through the floor or be boosted too violently up to the ceiling, the occurrence would be not a violation of the laws of nature, but a rare coincidence. These are some of the minor difficulties. I ought really to look at the problem four-dimensionally as concerning the intersection of my world line with that of the plank. Then again, it is necessary to determine in which direction the entropy of the world is increasing in order to make sure that my passage over the threshold is an entrance, not an exit. Verily, it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a scientific man to pass through a door. And whether the door be barn door or church door, it might be wiser that he should consent to be an ordinary man and walk in, rather than wait till all the difficulties involved in a really scientific ingress are resolved. Arthur Eddington, 1927.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I guess, like a quote from, a long quote from a famous person. You'll find a lot of these in the game, and yeah, it's really just super intellectual stuff, which I'm very interested in, but when it goes over my head, I'm like, ugh, I don't get it. All right, and now for a familiar voice. This one's not as long.
Through many births, I have wandered on and on, searching for, but never finding, the builder of this house.
All right, that's one of the few that is actually very, very short and doesn't provide like a quote, a person to quote. And in case you didn't figure it out, that is Ashley Johnson, the voice of Ellie in The Last of Us, which is so apropos with it coming out very, very soon. Well, at the time of recording, so that's really cool. She's got an absolutely beautiful voice. It just works really well for quoting and even playing Ellie, which is really cool. All right, so we have a new puzzle. We're going to go back and do that thing with the other puzzle, but so don't worry. I just wanted to show this off first because this is basically the game's way of teaching us rules for puzzles. So this puzzle here, you'll notice it looks pretty similar to the maze puzzle, but it's a lot simpler. You start here and you go here, right? The only problem is, what's this black dot here and what's the other black dot? Well, essentially the puzzle wants you to collect both black dots. So the way that you do it is you collect it like that and you finish the puzzle. Now, to give you an example, if you tried to only collect one or you collected none, the game would give you this kind of like error code. Now let's collect one. It tells you, oh, you've got to collect this one. So essentially it wants you to collect both. And like I said, you can do it like that. You can do it like this, however I think those are the only two ways. Yeah, those might be the only two ways. But yeah, this is how the game teaches you rules for puzzles, which is really cool. It's really, really fun. All right, let's try this next one. A little bit more complicated. What about like this? Yeah, something like that. Cool, so that works. Now this one's really fun here. This one is exactly the same solution. Sorry. I must have done it differently, or maybe it's the next one. I don't know. I was going to say it's the exact same solution, but it's not. So we need to go... This one's actually quite tough. Let's go like this. No? Oh, okay. Some of you have probably already seen it and are screaming at the screen going, it's this way, it's this way. There we go. Let me just say something. I'm sure it was this one. Okay, yeah. So that's what it was. So you can actually do that puzzle exactly the same as this puzzle, as long as you did this this one the first time. So that's a pretty cool thing. The game does that a few times, and there's actually one that I noticed when I was having a little bit of a play around, which I'll try and remember which one it was, and I'll point it out later. You notice here you have two different options. I believe if you pick this one, you can't actually complete it because you have to go down here, but then you have to go up here to collect it, and you can't get out. So I think you have to do this one and then do that. There you go. And it's like, you know, they're starting off nice and, you know, not too hard. It's just a matter of thinking things through a little bit more. So this one's much harder because you've got 3 different spots to try. But then all of a sudden you find the answer. So that's pretty cool. All right, so that has basically taught us many different ways to complete puzzles with dots. So collect all the dots and yeah, complete the puzzles with dots. This one here, when I first played the game, I did this so early that when I first played the game, I didn't understand what the game was trying to show me. I mean, it took a really long time to get this, but when I did these, I was like, okay, I don't really understand what's going on, especially because there's a puzzle that comes up later that involves this rule, and I'm not really sure which specific puzzle that rule applies to. Like, you work out that puzzle, but which of these rules is the one like where the game is teaching you? So this one here, and this inherently, let me just, before we even get started, you're going to notice immediately when I say what I'm about to say. Obviously, I understand the innuendo, but let's try and look past it and let's just try and enjoy the game. The idea behind this puzzle is to separate the black from the white. And I completely understand how that sounds, but that's the idea, and there's very little way in getting around explaining that without saying those specific words. So I guess I could say the black cube from the white cube, but the innuendo is still there. Let's not dwell on it. Let's be adults. It's all good and fun, but let's be adults. So, okay. So here you can see that it's exactly the same thing. So, well, here it's saying, okay, because like, look, you're given no context, right? So you could go like this, and then the game's like, nope, both of those are wrong. And so, all right, you go like this, and then you go, oh, hang on, what if I separate them? That works. So then immediately, you're like, okay, so my objective is to separate them. You get this one, you're like, okay, so I'm starting down here. All right, let's separate it like that. Boom, done the same thing. Then you get another one, okay. All right, so now this one is telling you that it doesn't actually matter how many of each cube are in, the different separations. Like you can have 1 white cube and 2 black cubes. It doesn't matter. So that's what this one is teaching you. Then you get to this one. Now this one is, I think this one's teaching you that, let me see, how could I do this one? Yeah, so the only way to do this one is to like segregate this white one here from the other 3 black ones. I get it. But that's the only way you can solve the puzzle, because you can't do this. If the ending was down the bottom here, you could do that, but because it's not, you have to do this. Okay, now we get a little bit more fun. So let's do this little like Tetris shape. Boom, we've done that. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, now this one. Yeah, so this one is very similar to this one, but you can see the ending is just here. So instead of grouping them like this, you want to kind of, you want to kind of segregate them like that. So there you go. It's basically the same thing, but you're kind of, you're just doing it in a different way. And look at that, we've got only 3 to go now. All right, now this one's interesting. You're like, okay, how do I do this? Well, it's not too hard. Just get these ones like you normally would, go all the way around, and then put this one on the outside. Now this one is telling you that, like, this is reinforcing that same rule. It's saying, look, the only thing that you have to worry about is making sure that the white ones, the white cubes and the black cubes stay separated. That is it. There's no other rules, just separate them, and that's all you have to do. So that's good. We've got 2 left to go. This one is probably going to be something like this, where you're coming around the other side, similar to what we just did before on this one here, but you're going sort of in a roundabout way and then getting that one out of there. And then finally this last one, let's see. So this last one is probably, well, you can't do this because, yeah, you haven't separated any. And then if you do that, it blocks off the exit. So you know it's going to have to start like this. And then what do you have to do? Then you got to go up. You got to, oh, wait. Wait, how did I do this one now? There you go. Okay, so yeah. So and then this one's also telling you you can either have it like this, where they're completely separate, but this one's also telling you it's like they can be together. Like they can be in this little thing, inclusive of this line, and then the black ones are just on the outside of it. So there you go, and that's learning a puzzle. Now you'll notice that this one here only had 5 screens, and that one has 9. So yeah, it's a much more difficult concept, and that's how they're choosing to to teach. And I mean it makes sense. It's completely binary, right? It's like you need to be able to how can I put it? More difficult concepts take longer to explain than simpler concepts. So you need more stages to learn. So even just something as simple as that is so remarkable. And you only get that from like playing the game multiple times. All right, so I'm going to turn that one on. Now you'll notice that this one lost power. It's actually not a big deal that it lost power because number one, you can get power back to it by just redoing the puzzle. But on top of that, the gate stays open, so it's not a big deal. Okay, let's go around here. In order to get to where I opened it, you got to go. So I went here before. Now I'm going to go down here. You go around. There you go. Wires come out. It's opened this door. So this door was actually closed. There was nothing on the other side of it. Just a simple door. And then you go all the way around. This isn't like too big of a deal, but well, actually, no, this is kind of a big deal. It's not necessary for completing the game per se, but it is necessary for 100% completion, which is what we're going to try and go for. And the reason I did in this order is because, as you can see, you got a lot of black dots around here. So there's a lot of collecting to do. Not too hard of a puzzle. It's just a matter of like repeating the same pattern across the entire door. So there you go. Got that nice satisfying unlocking of the door, which is really, really good. There's a nice little puzzle down here that we're going to look at in a sec, and another one over here. I want to play this, and it's not very long. Yeah, let's play this first.
Of all the communities available to us, there's not one I would want to devote myself to, except for the Society of True Searchers, which has very few living members at any time. Albert Einstein, 1924.
So beautiful when you hear like really familiar and well-known names. So Albert Einstein, 1924. God, that was almost 100 years ago. Isn't that crazy? We're in 2020 when I'm recording this, so in 4 more years, it'll be 100 years since he said that. That's really quite something remarkable. Okay, now this puzzle. Now, I am actually going to explain how this puzzle works, because you're not meant to know how this works. This particular puzzle, you will find many, many, many of them throughout the game, and no matter how many times I did this puzzle, I did not understand the rule, and I had to look it up. But it's actually not too hard. And I think the reason I didn't understand the rule was because I ended up solving the puzzle. I don't think they give you advanced puzzles until much later of this puzzle. And I ended up solving the puzzle correctly pretty much on my first go every time, and I didn't bother trying to do anything else. But then I realized later that there is a way to actually figure out how to solve the puzzle. It's a very difficult rule to work out, but it is possible. So you'll notice there's a triangle here, right? If I do this, that doesn't work. If I do this, that doesn't work. But if I do this, that works. So the question becomes, how does that work? Why does that work? Well, the idea behind the triangle rule is that you're supposed to, based on how many triangles are in that square, that's how many times you need to draw a line across the square. So if there was a second triangle in there, this would be the solution. If there was a third triangle in there, this would be the solution. Possibly one solution. No, that would be the solution, exactly right. Yeah, but because there's only one triangle, you just have to sort of like draw the line on only one side of the square, and then boom, you're done. And that's it. Now these ones just add to your total puzzle completion, but I believe their intention is to essentially teach you that rule for a moment at pretty much at the end of the game, or when you're kind of cleaning up and trying to find secrets. Okay, now this puzzle. It's pretty much exactly the same, pretty much identical to the puzzle that we just had, where is it? Just had here, except, oh, I didn't actually notice that. This one has a gap here, but this one has a gap here and here, and that is actually pretty tough. This might actually take me a while, like a second, because I can't quite remember what the answer is. And I've already screwed it up, so is it like this? No. Yeah, this one's pretty tricky. Like it's not it is not an easy puzzle. So I'm going to try my best to, like, you know, because I've played it before, I have a chance to solve the puzzles, or a lot of the puzzles, fairly quickly. So that would be nice, because then that would mean that I don't have to edit out too much stuff. Maybe like this. There we go. Okay, like that. So yeah, that's a tricky one, but I got it. Yeah, that I don't have to edit out too much stuff. I probably won't edit out like too much, but I think this first episode, I'm just going to make a few edits at the beginning where I stumbled over my words, but later on down the track, I probably won't edit that much out. And I've got an idea of how I can edit it out to keep the content at about an hour long. Okay, so here is another door. Now you'll notice this door has the black squares and the white squares, but it also has the black dots. And the funny thing about this is that this particular puzzle involves two rules that we've already learnt, right? So separating the black cubes from the white cubes and collecting the black dots. Now immediately when you look at this, you're like, oh my god, this is so intimidating. Like, how are we going to solve this? But it's actually not that difficult. And this is a perfect example of a really good sort of advanced starting puzzle, but also a very good lesson in life, is that sometimes things look more difficult than they actually are. So that's really fantastic. Like, I mean, if Jonathan intended for this to be the way that he was going to design the game, like if he intended for that to kind of just be the case, I think I've already screwed it up. Yeah, if he intended on that being the takeaway, then mate, I got the takeaway, but thank you for, you know, providing the pizza, so to speak. Okay, so so here already I've identified a problem. I need to collect this, but I need to separate these two. So maybe if I start from here. Okay, so there's already an issue, because if I go down here, I won't be able to get out. So let's try, I can't start, okay, let's work it out bit by bit. I can't start here, because if I start here, I can't get this, right? I can't get this, there's no way to get that, and that's the same thing for here. If I start here, I have to go up here, and then I guess I'd have to go down, so that so far works. Here we go. All of a sudden, things are coming together. Let's go here first. And we'll grab these white ones and put them in our little thing, and then bada bing, bada boom, and all of a sudden, almost got it. Oh, actually, that's a problem. No, that's a problem. That is not going to work, because exactly the same issue here. I'd have to come from here, but then, wait, nope, but then, yeah. That works. Now I would just have to find an exit. Problem is I can't find an exit. Unless... Ah, there's 2. That is very annoying. Okay, let's try an alternative. I'm pretty confident that this is the starting point, but I can't quite remember. I didn't do this on my practice. I was just like, okay, I've done enough. No, that doesn't work either. What if I do this? No, that doesn't work either because of this. Okay, I can't start down here. I know that much. And I don't believe I can start here. I don't remember having to start here. Yeah, I can't start here. It has to be here. All right, it has to be here. This has to be the starting point. And this is another thing. So, you know, sometimes you get so fixated on what one of the answers has to be that you lose sight of what your actual goal is. So that can be tough as well. That can't be... Maybe like, no, it still won't work because I... Oh, wait a second. Yeah, it will if I can grab... No, that is a problem. Because I could grab... See, I could grab both of these. And then the only issue would be that I have black and white cubes in the same spot there in the middle. So that's my only issue. Okay, what about... That has to be the first move. I'm just like... Aha. What about like this? Now we're getting somewhere. Nope. Nope, that's not gonna work. What about like that? Aha, I think that's correct. Yep, so that should be right. So I've got the black cubes, they're all in their own little spots. The white cubes are all in the middle. And I collected all the black spots. There we go. See, it's one of those that you're like, oh man, that seems so hard. And then you actually try it for a bit, and lo and behold. All right, so got a little tree up there. Okay. See, another thing that I didn't notice. So, dead tree. Now it looks like a full tree. Perspective. Perspective is paramount. All right. So this little, I actually don't know how I'm gonna deal with this, but this little box will reveal a puzzle, and well, actually a solution to a puzzle. You can see here, it's a solution to a puzzle. You do that, you go around there, and you finish here. This won't come into play until much later, but it actually almost looks like the beginning puzzle, but it's not. These are, what is that, hexagons? Yeah, they're hexagons, and the beginning were like diamonds, I think, kind of diamond shaped. And yeah, this looks like it belongs to the beginning. It doesn't. It's actually the solution for a puzzle a little bit later, and what it does, I don't really want to say, but at the same time, I honestly don't know how I'm going to deal with it, because it's kind of, I don't know, it's just very difficult to talk about exactly what that does. I guess I'll get there when I get there. We'll leave it like that. Don't worry, we'll sort of need to remember it, but it's okay, we can come back. Let's go to, let's do this one. I think this one's easier than what I was going to do next, but then we'll go do what I was going to do next. All right, this one's really fun. I actually quite enjoy these puzzles. So you come here and you're like, okay, what is this? What does it look like to you? Like, have a think, what does it look like to you? Well, looks like a tree, right? So you're like looking at it and you're like, okay, that looks like a tree to me, and it looks like that tree in particular. So you go to this tree and you're like, okay, what's specific about this tree? And you see this big red fruit, right? Well, is it a fruit? It's like, you see this big red floating ball that's not attached to anything. Yeah, you see this big red fruit. And you're like, okay, all right, so maybe my objective is to pick the branch, because obviously puzzles like picking a branch. Pick the branch with the fruit. So the way that you work this out, well, you can work it out like this. one branch, two branches, one branch, two branches, one branch, two branches, one branch, two branches. So that's 8 branches on the left. And you're like, yep, that makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you've got one branch, two branch, one branch, two branch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's on the 4th one. But then also to take into account, one branch, two branch, one branch, and then this branch is broken. And you'll notice on the very end of the puzzle, that last branch is broken. So that's correct. So now we know that the answer should be this one here. Cool. So now let's see if we can extend that knowledge to the next version of the puzzle. So this cable goes, oh, you can actually kind of see it. I was like, I thought it goes underground. So it goes all the way here, and then boom, you got another one. And you're like, okay, let's have a look. Oh, here's the tree. All right, not too bad, not too bad. Let's work this out. So same concept. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's on the 7th one of the left branch. Now let me just check something. Yes. So this is pretty much identical, right? And you're like, okay, 7th on the left. So let's try that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. Okay, we got that correct, right? And we also know because the branch over here is broken, which is exactly the same as the previous one. Let's continue this this trail of thought and see where it takes us. All right, so now we've got another one. And we're looking at this and we're like, this is an awkward one. You see how it's like shaped? It's like, it's a bit more cut in the middle here. And the branches are a little bit harder to look at. It almost looks like if you look at it from here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's like on the 5th branch from the right. So you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that one. But that would be incorrect. What you have to do is you got to look at the branch that connects the branches. So this first one here is unbroken, and then the next one's broken. And that's what we got here. First one is completely fine. Second one is broken. And then everything else is fine. So we got 1, 2, and then it's still connecting to this one. 5. So yeah, 3, 4, or 5, 6 in this case. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it should be actually the 8th one, the last one on the left. Boom. And you can see how 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see how the 5th one from the right is also an option, but it would be incorrect. But because of the perspective, it can, trick people into thinking that that's actually a correct answer. All right, so let's go over here. So just another like obscuring the answer, obfuscating the player. Love that word, obfuscating. Learned that a very long time ago, but I do not use it enough. All right, so now this one is interesting because you're like, okay, let's have a look. So you've got, if you look at the puzzle, like let's work this one out in reverse order now. If you look at the puzzle, you've got 8 full branches on the right, right? When you look at it from this perspective, you're like, hang on, 1, 2, 3, this one's broken. So how does that work? You look at this one, you're like, hang on, 1, 2, 3, and then a broken one. Huh? What if we shift our perspective? 1, 2, 3, and then a broken one. 1, 2, 3, and then a broken one. That's what we got. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. The next 4 are good, which is what we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next 4 are good. And then 1, 2. So next 4 are good. So we go here. 1, 2. Boom. That's complete as well. So really fun working out those. Okay, and now this one. Uh-oh, we got another problem. What's the problem, sir? We're missing a fruit. Okay. Alright, let's do what we usually do. Good, 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 broken, good, good, broken, good, good, broken, good, broken, good, good. And now I'm just trying to... I know what the answer is, I just have to remember how to work it out. I think... Let me see. So good, 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 broken, good, good, broken. Okay. So that's what it is. Okay. So you're looking at it and you're like, okay, good, 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 broken. So let's have a look at that. Let's see if they're doing the perspective trick again. Good, 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 broken. All right, that matches. Good, good, broken. All right, so if they're not doing the perspective trick and we're looking at it from this way, it makes sense so far. So let's continue with that. So good, good, broken, good. That's what we got. And then we've got good, good, broken, good. Good, good, full, good. So that one seems like the odd one out. And there you go. And that solves the puzzle. So that's really nice. I love that. All this does is it unlocks this little area. I don't know if there's a recording in here. I didn't actually find one. It does show you sort of like veins in the like blood vessels, like your heart, probably your brain as well. Wow, really plain. You have to choose now to. This plane is really loud. Hopefully you can't hear it too much, but yeah. I did my best. Also, that's another thing I should say. I did my best to, like, I really spent some time today trying to improve the quality of the audio as much as I humanly possibly can. So hopefully it's coming out well. I think it will turn out well. I did try many, many times to get it as perfect as I can get it. And I think it's just a matter of, it's one of those things where it's like, there's only so good you can get the audio until I do other stuff and try and work it out. All right, cool. I don't think there is a recording here, or if there is, I didn't see one. When I played this for myself, like I ended up really hell-bent on just trying to get everything in this game and just find every single possible thing I could find, because it was just so intriguing. I really love it. I mean, when you're playing it for yourself, like figuring that stuff out is really fun. But I also like kind of trying, like, I guess the fun for me is, like, you might think, why are you playing a puzzle game that you've already beaten? But the fun for me, I think, comes from understanding why some of the puzzles worked, because I didn't understand all of the puzzles. You know, some of them I would work out, but I didn't understand all of them. So some of the fun comes from actually working out why stuff actually worked, rather than just like blindly trying to solve something and then going, oh, okay, that worked, great, let's move on. All right, this one. So we've got 2 locations to start from, but you'll notice as soon as we place our little cursor, we're able to start moving straight away. And when we move, we actually move both. So this is teaching us about symmetry puzzles. Basically, we need to finish at the same time. So let's do that. Let's go in here. Got some more screens here. Some more screens here. Whoa, what happened to that one? Oh, we'll find out soon. Don't know what this thing is. Just, it's such a picturesque game. It's really, really incredible. Just so much to look at. Sandcastles. Can't interact with any of this stuff, but, well, I guess you can walk over it. Can I walk over this one? Oh, I didn't think I could. Okay, interesting. All right, got some more puzzles here. Let's try this. All right, so if it's symmetry based, I guess you just gotta... Okay, easy enough. Let's try this one. So you'll notice I can't go here because the one on the right can't go up. So we're gonna go this way, and then we gotta go again, and then we can go up. That's good. Let's try another one, a little bit more complicated. Let's go down, left and right, up, left and right, up, back this way, up, around this way, and boom. Nice. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's an option in the game where if you move the right thumbstick, you can move puzzles instead of having to press back and forth, but not a big deal. Okay, this one. So we gotta go. Let's go up twice, then in, then up, then back out, back in. Cool. All right, now this one. There's more than one option for this puzzle. I'm not exactly sure why. But yeah, you can do this puzzle in 2 different ways. So let's do that. And cool. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, you can do it. Now this is cool. It lowers this thing. And then you have this little, almost like a drawbridge or something. This is not on at the moment, and you can't actually tell where the cable comes from. I don't want to reveal too much about this, but yeah, you know what? There's no reason to reveal too much about this. I will leave this as is. Let's consider this complete. One thing that this does do is it enables us to turn on these puzzles that we passed up earlier. So let's continue with these. We'll deal with that later. Okay, let's go up here. So now it's getting a little bit more complicated because we're almost like connecting each part. So that's good. Okay. So let's try going this way. Okay, we can't go that way because we're going to bump into each other. Like this? No? So it has to be like this. And then we got to go left. And I guess left again, then this way, and then yeah, there we go. Cool. That was actually one that only had kind of one response or one answer. Alright, that's interesting. These are drooping. Are we seriously going to get puzzles there? The answer, yes we are. Alright, so this one's pretty tough. I think it's actually, yeah, like this. How far can we go? No, we can't go that way. Can't go that way. Let's go like this. Nope. Okay, let's try again. Maybe we'll go like this. Okay, this one's a little bit more tricky. Let's do that. Another thing I guess I'll talk about right now in terms of long form content. One of the best features that YouTube ever introduced was the ability to increase how quickly you can watch content. There we go. Nice. I think regardless of what platform you're watching this on, there's a little cog icon that you can click on, the little cog in the bottom right hand corner will allow you to change the speed. That was much easier. That was the same solution. And then, let me guess, it's going to be the same solution. You jerks. I never realized that. See, just another thing that I did not realize the first time. Well, I can't say that I never realized that one. That one might have been able to be realized, considering that it took me so long to do the first one. And then when I did the second one, I was like, it had already given me the hint that this might be exactly the same solution, just a bit, especially if you take into account the fact that it's drooping as well. I guess that's trying to say, yeah, he's almost trying to say, it's like one of those year 9 or year 10, no, year 7, year 8 English class where it's like, what was the author feeling at the time? Well, they were feeling really sad because you can tell by the colors that they were using to, you know, like they were feeling blue. And some students would be like, no, they just like the color blue, that's why. But yeah, this is kind of like one of those things where it's like regardless of the perspective or regardless of how something looks, sometimes the answer is the same, or I don't know, regardless of how ugly a situation is, using the same method can get you a result, something like that. Like isn't that crazy to glean that level of information from a puzzle? It's that just boggles my mind. I love it so much. I'm really glad it's like trying to have these like introspective moments, but now that I'm thinking about it, it really, like, I didn't even think about that during practice, but now that I have been thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much exactly I think what he's trying to say. You've got this really cool what is this obelisk. You've got this obelisk and it actually makes a weird like humming sound. We're gonna work out, like, these are probably, this thing is like I can't even begin to explain how much I love this thing, love and hate this thing, but we will come to that hopefully when we get close to the end of the game. We will start working on those, and it's just going to be, hopefully your mind will be blown, especially obviously if you've played the game before, you know what it is. If you've never played the game before, you should be in complete darkness as to what that refers to. So darkness, for lack of a better term. Well, that's probably the best term I can give. But yeah, it really is incredible. All right, this one's just a simple grab all the well, simple. It's actually like, you know, you're like, okay, I can't go this way because then I can't collect that one. And then you're like, I need to go both here and here, but I can't go that way. So, all right, let's collect that one and then come back around and, goddamn it, R2 makes it a little bit faster. There we go. Yeah. All right, now we go up here and we're like, uh-oh, we can't complete this puzzle. Because, well, first of all, you can tell it's a symmetrical puzzle. Oh, wait, can we complete this puzzle? No, there's got to be another. There's got to be another. Oh, no, we can't because we don't have access to this area. That's how we would need to complete it. Okay, yeah, we still got a bit of time. Let's see if I can complete these batch of next puzzles. All right, so you can go up there, but in order to get up there, you'll notice, so we've got to power that cable, and then you got to power that cable. So let's just go to the beginning. The beginning is here. All right, what do we got? Oh, we got more dot puzzles, but this time we got, you know, symmetrical lines combined with the black dot puzzles. So we need to actually get all the dots with a line. All right, so let's try again. So now the dots are placed very differently. Let's go up here. Get that. All right, let's try the next one. One of these, I think it's the second last one, is extremely difficult. It's so much more difficult than the one after it. But and I wonder if that was intentional as well by Jonathan. He was like, you know, I'm gonna make this one really friggin' hard, and then they're gonna be like, what in the hell? Like, why is this one? It's this one here, I'm pretty sure. It's like, why is this so hard? And then all of a sudden, you can, like, you eventually, you keep at it and you keep at it and you keep at it, and then you're almost rewarded in a way. So close. Then you're almost rewarded in a way by giving you like an easier one. And I guess maybe he was trying to say, sometimes in life things are going to be tough, and sometimes they're not going to be that tough, and sometimes they might come one after the other. Yeah, this one is a pain. It is extremely challenging. There's I can't really provide like a, oh, I got it, yes. All right. That's exceptionally hard. Like, I spent about a good like 5 minutes on that off screen, and then I'm pretty sure this one is a lot easier. I can't really give, you know, much advice on how to tackle those ones. It's just a matter of, yeah, there you go. Like, all of a sudden, at least for me, I guess again, that's another thing to take into consideration. It's like, what is simple for one person may not be simple for another person. And that is definitely true of some future puzzles, which drive me nuts. Okay, so now you'll see that we have two different colors, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Collect the blue dots with the blue line, collect the yellow dots with the yellow line. You will always start with the blue line regardless of which area you start. So like if I start here, it's blue. Another thing, depending on, does this work? Oh, it does. Okay, so you can actually solve this puzzle in two different ways. You can solve it like that, and you can solve it like that. So yeah, just pick your poison and choose whichever you think. Some of them are not as friendly though. Some of them you can only solve one way. Beautiful. Yeah, some of them you can only solve one way. Oh, what did I do wrong? Oh yeah, that one's. This got me as well. Like, is it perspective or something? Like, I don't notice that blue dot there. Like, I did exactly the same thing during practice. I guess it's because, like, immediately I just covered it with the yellow line. Okay, so... Ooh, that is a good point. If I go this way, I collect the yellow. If I go this way, I collect the... Yeah, so that's what it is. You have to start the other way. So, hang on. Yeah, so this puzzle I started with the blue dot on the left. This puzzle can be completed with the blue dot on the left, so I think the natural inclination is to use the dot on the left to be blue, which would be wrong for this puzzle because you wouldn't be able to complete it in that way. Let's try... Did I end up finishing talk? I don't think I finished talking about the speed thing. Sorry about that. There we go. Yeah, so you can, excuse me, you can increase the speed of any YouTube video by a factor of, well, I think it's customized now. You can pretty much increase it however fast you want. Maybe not more than 2, but you can increase it however fast you want. This is very common knowledge. It's been available for like probably more than a year at this point. You notice this dot is black. It just means just collect it. Just finish the puzzle by collecting it. It doesn't matter which line you collect it on. Actually, you know what? Let's test that theory because I'm pretty confident that is the case, but let's just see. So if I do that, yep. Yeah, so just collect. And I love that proof as well there. It's like, you know, do some testing. Oops. Do some testing to... Why did I even restart that? It's like I enjoyed this puzzle solution more than the other one. Anyway, yeah, the ability to test your perception as to what the rule is fantastic as well. That's a very good, very fun thing that they've added. Okay, what if I try like this? Yeah, so you can increase the speed of any video by, you know, a decent amount. I recommend, I mean, it really depends on who you're listening to. If you're listening to someone who talks very, very fast, but you still want to get through the content a little bit quicker, nice. Oh, actually, yes, nice. But you still want to get through the content a little bit quicker. 1.25 is pretty much the best speed to listen to most stuff at. If you're listening to someone who speaks a bit slower, you can go to 1.5 or even higher than that. And the great thing about that is that, like, as soon as you start listening at that speed, your brain can process information faster than you might think. So you'll still be able to get all of what is being explained. I hate this one, actually. I can't remember the answer, but I'll try it. Yeah, you'll still, for the most part, no, that's not correct. It has to be this way. Be able to get all of what's being explained. It's just a matter of, like, you'll be able to do it much faster. And if, like, to give you a mathematical example, if you watch, so if this video ends up being about an hour long, which we're quickly creeping up on, and you watch it at 1.25 speed, you're watching it 25% faster, which should mean that this video would take an hour to watch at normal speed, but only 45 minutes to watch at 1.25. Hey presto, you've just saved yourself 15 minutes. Now, if you continue to do that with every YouTube video that you watch, or most YouTube videos that you watch, well, congratulations, you're saving 15 minutes or more constantly, depending on what video length you're watching. So, and as I said, this is very common knowledge. I'm sure I'm probably just explaining things that people already understand, but for the sake of, you know, if you have not noticed it, then that is a really good and fun way to get through more stuff. If you're short on time, YouTube's got you covered on that front, at the very least. This is frustrating. Is this correct? Yes, okay. Alright, now you notice that this yellow line is a little bit more faded. You're not dreaming or you're not imagining things, because now it's even more faded. And you're probably wondering, what's going on? Why is it faded? Well, we'll find out very, very soon why it's faded. It's gonna be, it's one of those, oh, come on moments, but yeah, you'll see. Okay. Oh, now it's really faint. It's actually hard to tell where it is. Jeez, that would be pretty bad if we didn't know where that line was now, wouldn't it? Oh man, I can barely see it. Where's this damn line? Come on. It's probably like this, you idiot. Just put the one on the other side and then instantly you worked it out. Okay, so now you'll notice you cannot see the line at all. So what you have to do is you have to imagine where that line is in order to solve this puzzle. So, okay, so the line is, yeah, it's there. So I haven't collected that. So what if I go like that, I've actually collected that yellow one, and now I'm going to bump into it. Yeah, I'm going to collect that yellow one, but now I've collected the, so can you see it? Like, it's sort of, I can't really draw it on the screen. Well, I guess I could put like a note, but I don't know if I want to bother. But it's basically an exact reflection of what... So use this one as an example. So this is exactly opposite to this. And this is exactly opposite to that, which goes here, 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 and here. So obviously the yellow dot's there, but the yellow line is still active. It's just not showing. Okay, so let's finish off here. We're almost out of time. Is that good enough? So I went 2 across. I think if I go 3 across, then it's 3 across at the top. Then I go there, and then I collect these 2 things. Boom, done. All right, let's see if I can get this last one done. So this one's actually not too bad as well. It's just a matter of imagining the line. So it's 4 across, and then you go here, and then you go here to 2 across. There, so it should have collected that one. Then there, then there, then there. There we go. Yeah. So it's basically, again, opposite of what I did. So I went 4 across, I went 1 down, then I went 2 across, then I went down again, well, up on the bottom there, and then I went across, down, and finished the puzzle. Boom. And now we unlock that top part. Let me see. So I'm pretty sure we're almost out of time. I think what I'll do is I will complete this door puzzle, and then I'll leave it there for my very first, forgotten the name of it, Long May We Plat. And I guess one other thing I should add is if you're Australian, can you not tell the TAB that I totally use their Long May We Play thing as a, oh no, we have a recording here, I can get this later. Long May We Play as a basis for the title Long May We Plat. So yeah, just don't tell them because I don't want to be sued. Yeah, the TAB is like a gambling company that we have here in Australia for various things like horse races and pretty much anything that requires gambling or that is to do with gambling. And they have a slogan called Long May We Play. So I just thought I'll do Long May We Plat. And also just to quickly reiterate, just as I finish here, Long May We Plat is just an idea to, I'm trying to tell people that this whole idea is it's a less platinum series that's long form, an hour long. I'm going to try and do it once a week and we'll see what we can do. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. I really do hope you've enjoyed this first hour of The Witness. We got through quite a bit of content. One last thing I'll say is if you hit load a game, it actually saves your game. So I'll just do that. And then you're able to load that game as well. So yeah, you can do that. All right, so I will leave it there. So I want to thank you very much for watching the very first episode of Long May We Plat for The Witness. My name is Ultima456, you're the Ultimates, and I'll see you next time.